So a very odd phenomenon came from this film. Rainn Wilson. Normally, every time I see him in a movie, I want to punch him. But against all odds, he was able to work it down to I just wanted to smack him upside the head. What do you think, Norman? He agrees. So we just got out of The Meg. It's directed by John Turteltaub. He did movies like The Kid with Bruce Willis. He did Cool Runnings.
Oh.
As well. He did While You Were Sleeping.
Not movies I'd say Meg-like.
Yeah, definitely not. Oh, well, I guess the closest he has done, which kind of qualifies him under the heading, is the National Treasure movies. He directed those as well. In the sense of big movie kind of thing. I guess you could say he's kind of in the same league as Joe Johnston. It's just that reliable director you can always get to mount a competent production. And The Meg overall is a competent production. And he assembles an actual competent cast to boot. Actually, a kind of refreshingly diverse one. Led by Jason Statham.
The cool thing on this movie is, for any shark movie, most of the time it's all about the sharks and not the cast, not the people. Except for one notorious one, Jaws.
Don't compare it to Jaws.
That's one of the few. That's the first shark movie. Let's just be honest. It's the first real shark movie. So everyone compares to it. Just don't do that. But it did show one thing: is that you need to have characters you care about. 9 times out of 10, shark movies do not do that. You just want bodies and snacks for the shark.
And they always set them up to be cannon fodder. Easy.
You pretty much can't remember anyone. They have no personalities, whatever. Meg, however, I remembered all the characters. I actually gave a crap about them.
They did a really good job establishing character relationships all the way through. They weren't groundbreaking, and you didn't really know, like, everything.
One character, he openly gets very, very upset when the shark's doing its thing. And he just points out, so-and-so is dead, so-and-so is dead. Those were my friends. So you actually get why he's truly upset about what's going on. It's not so much he's worried about himself, which he is, but his friends died. Like, how would you react in that situation?
It plays up the emotional stakes. And it does a good job establishing the relationships of the characters pretty early on to help you at least give a damn about them, whether to a mild extent or to a grand extent.
And I was really amazed by this one character they introduced at the beginning, who I thought they were just, we're just writing that character out. And they didn't. They kept her in. And then you find out her relation to Jason Statham, and you're like, oh, this is going to be that trope. They're going to... No, they totally just were like, no, we're going to actually have them act like adults, good camaraderie, and you're like, oh, wait, you can do that in these movies?
We can actually have a non-cliche, obligatory, where people think you're obligated that the X has to be consistently antagonistic towards her respective
they really went against the tropes that you expect. I mean, there are some tropes, I'm not saying there aren't, but they played with them, and they kind of adjusted things. So,
as you'd expect in a movie like this, there is a romantic subplot. But even then, they don't do the instantaneous, by the end of the movie, we are madly in love with each other.
Oh, we kiss and all that. No, it's kind of... Actually, it was a romantic subplot, kind of like Pacific Rim. Where it's like, there's something maybe there.
Yeah, it's like
starting... It's how a relationship, if it starts, this is how it starts.
Even Rainn Wilson, who... he still has yet to ever, like, blow my skirt up as a actor or anything like that. Even he plays the one character who in any other Asylum shark movie or any other would always be the character who gums up the works in some...
He's like the mayor, I have to say Jaws, but like the mayor, that character is going to just mess it all up because they're selfish and...
Or the...
He doesn't, though.
Or the rich people in Shark Attack 3, Megalodon, who, kept...
Oh, yeah. Yeah, let's compare it to that movie.
Well, I mean, they both swallow things whole. I mean, it's just the difference is the one in Shark Attack 3 has weird size-changing powers where he can swallow a whole yacht.
They were at least consistent with the sizing of the shark. And then they deal with the shark, but if you pay attention, you're like, oh, wait a minute, something's a little off here. And then the characters even know something's a little off, and you're like, you doing that? Okay. It's a standard... That is a cliche of shark movies... monster movies of the sea.
They don't linger on these tropes a little too long.
They kind of move along.
It's actually pretty quick when they come to the realization something's off.
Technically, Jaws even did that trope.
Yeah, they did.
Tiger shark.
They did with the tiger shark as well.
It's basically the red herring.
Yeah, and in this case, almost literally. Herring's a fish.
Oh, I was thinking more red.
I was thinking more fish.
Yeah.
So between the two of us, we got it knocked. It does kick off with a lot of the cliche character tropes. Jason Statham is someone who, in the beginning, makes a judgment call. I don't want to even call it a mistake. He makes a judgment call, which does cost some lives, but it's one of those...
The needs of the many outweigh the
needs of the few situation. And it's one of those ones where you like, damn, the situation actually, you can't really begrudge him for making the decision. But, of course, there's going to be someone who is involved in that incident who's going to have some acrimony with him. And they play that up, but I was very happy that they did not.
It's pretty much dispelled the second he gets proven right.
And he gets proven right pretty damn quick.
He just goes, you know, like, there you go. And they're like, all right, yeah.
But it says a lot for the character who had a beef with him that very quickly he's quick to apologize. And not like other movies where he just cannot swallow his pride and just keeps staying.
Yeah, no, people swallow their pride quick in this movie.
Yeah,
they're like, yeah, I did bad.
They're willing to admit they make mistakes, and they just move on from it.
I should also note, I have actually read the Meg, the book that apparently this is based on. I read 20 years ago, but I do still remember distinct things in it. This movie is not that book. Which is fine, because I really don't think that book would have made that interesting a film. There are two things that are similar from the book. Basically just how the functionality of the water and why the Meg stays below a certain level and all that. That is correct to the book, but that's about it.
Is that it plays up a lot of the good tension in certain scenes, because you don't know if when it's looming towards, if it's actually going to get the person who's in the water.
That's the creepy thing about sharks in general, is that, one, they're just scary when they're swimming. They always look scary naturally, and you don't know when they're actually sensing you, when they don't, and how fast they can just chomp on you. I mean, they're fast. So the Meg was threatening in the sense of, at one point it's just swimming under people, because there's so many people and they're all just casually swimming. It's kind of like, probably sounds like white noise to a shark, so that it doesn't register that any of that is edible or food until the sound starts cranking up and it realizes, oh, I can eat these, and goes to town and just starts having a blast. But that, I mean, there was the one image, I think it was in the trailer.
It is in the, you're talking about
the shadow of the shark swimming underneath the
girl in the canoe. Yeah.
That's, I mean, they show similar shots to that, and it is actually really scary, because the shark literally can open its mouth and just swallow you.
And it's like pulling a pin on a grenade practically. And the funny thing is, the pin is just the people who end up spotting the shark and setting off everyone else. They funneled all the cliche cannon fodder that's usually innate with these kind of movies.
Yeah, they kind of did a fun job with it.
They funneled it all into just one key sequence, and all the main characters who we're following, because we focus on all of them, and we have a good, we at least like them enough to actually care about them. It was actually surprising in some respects when certain characters got offed. I was actually kind of delighted and surprised. And even the characters who survived, there was an ever-present sense of tension as to who
anyone could go.
Yeah, anyone could go.
Yeah, there's certain characters I was like, don't you die.
Well, yeah.
Like, you better get out of that water.
Yeah, Ruby Rose, who we friggin' went nuts for in John Wick Chapter 2. She's in this. She's like one of the ones you don't really know too much about her, but she has such a strong personality in there and such a good presence in the movie. You just were like, don't dare kill her. She's awesome. Just naturally awesome.
I think they were putting effort. So I saw effort actually being put into the other characters. Whether it was a ton of effort or not, this was not the Jason Statham show.
No.
It really wasn't. It was a group effort.
None of these characters felt redundant. I didn't feel like, why are you even here at all? Even, there is one character played by a certain former TV star who dies in the beginning of the movie. And for as short time as he's in the movie, first off, I was thrilled to see him, because, you know, I kind of missed him. I really liked him.
Yeah, I was like, oh, you go, and you be here. I was like, I did not know that you were in this movie.
Good
for you, man.
Yeah, I was very happy to see him. He dies pretty early on, but they make him count.
There are several characters that die, but they do for a reason. Like, it's a self-sacrifice, or it's to help, or that was just a bad, it's not your fault, man.
And because they play up a lot of these with your expectations as far as who lives and who dies, it even got to the point where I was even expecting one of the major characters to die, especially in the very end.
Oh yeah, I was actually expecting that, and then
the way they're playing this could be played.
Could have been done.
Yeah, it could have been done, and you know what? The movie would have felt just as right as the way they end it.
It's a giant shark movie. It's a movie with a 70-foot shark.
We went into this movie expecting it to be a high-budget asylum movie. We were expecting Sharknado. We were expecting Shark Attack 3 Megalodon.
With a budget.
And not a line about eating out a woman.
You know, I'm really wired. What do you say I take you home and eat your...
Really? That's where we had to go with that.
Well, that's the only thing anyone really wants to remember from that movie.
Oh, no. I remember the shark changing sizes and people driving their jet skis into its mouth.
We ended up getting more than we bargained for. We basically I guess we Peter Rabbited this.
Is that a new term we're going to come up with?
Yeah, that is a new...
Going, this is not going to be a good movie, but we might have some fun.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going, well, that was actually a good movie.
Yeah, we Peter Rabbited it, and as a result, no real rabbit here, Norman. I'm sorry. No, yeah. We'll get you a real rabbit later. If there's anything I would say that's wrong with this movie, and honestly it's one of those minor things, the pacing leading up to the reveal of the Meg it did take its time. Now, granted, I did like how it built up the anticipation, but even then, even to that one great shot that's in the trailer of the Meg jumping on the window, it still takes a while to get to that point.
Yeah, but
fortunately,
that's a shark movie. They always take a while.
Fortunately, the payoff is great. You don't mind it so much, and they really wanted to take advantage of the fact that this is a different kind of shark compared to the kind of sharks that we're used to, and they tried to adjust the action sequences to be, according to that. Granted, I think they may have gotten a little too sci-fi-ish with a lot of their apparatus in order to do that, but this is
the subs were looking a little sequesty. But the normal subs, they were okay. I mean, fancy the windshield thing.
Yeah, that was actually kind of cool.
That was cool. No, I'm talking about the...
Yeah.
Those look like they should be on the sequest.
Yeah, and they moved a little fast, like way faster than I think those submersibles should.
Don't believe the science is like...
Yeah, I don't think the science was 100% accurate on this.
The movie has a 75-foot shark. Why are you going in for real science?
I said yes, it's not an asylum movie, but it's a couple leagues above it.
Yeah, a lot of leagues above.
Yeah, yeah.
I'd put it over Deep Blue Sea. That's one of my top tier. Ridiculous. I love that movie.
Oh no, I have promised her, and I've talked to the founder. One day we will do Deep Blue Sea on Cinema Schlock as a chaser.
That movie's awesome. It's ridiculous and it's dumb and it's fun. I would say Meg is it's better.
It has a lot more discipline than you would ever expect a movie like that to be, but in the end, it is still just
a giant shark.
It is still a giant shark movie, and a lot of the characters, the archetypal as they may be, fortunately more effort was put into them. And that carried us through all the way. Will you enjoy it? I'd say you have to have a lot of provisos to walk into enjoying this. Don't compare it to Jaws.
Don't compare it to The Bug. You're going to go see a movie about Jason Statham versus a 75-foot shark. Think about that. Is that what you want to see? Because you're going to see that. You're not seeing high art. You're seeing a giant shark movie. It's got a great budget. It's effort. You can see there's effort put into this thing.
And there's not a lazy performance in the bunch.
No, everyone's pushing. Everyone's doing it. There's no phoning in. I did not notice any phoning in.
Yeah, it didn't feel like they were licking the paycheck.
You know what you're going into when you see this movie. If you come out going, well, that was cheesy and stupid.
Yeah.
Well, you're cheesy and stupid for seeing a movie about a 75-foot shark and being surprised that there's a 75-foot shark and it's dumb.
You just have to approach this with the right mindset, which we definitely did. And because we went in with that right mindset, we came out with an even better mindset, and a mindset good enough to give it a Narcotic Casserole rating of... So, do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you think that all shark movies should be compared to Jaws, or do you think that they just need to be free to evolve and do their own thing? Leave it all in the comments below. See, Norman agrees. Leave it in the comments below. And for more addictive content on Narcotic Casserole, Norman's going to eat it. So before he consumes it all, like, share, subscribe, click, and Norman shall be served.